Want to extend a welcome to everyone who is joining us this evening. As you all know, COVID-19 has forced many changes in our lives. Normally, we would be hosting you at a cocktail reception at the Canadian Conference of Medical Education and present your trophies in person, but the ongoing challenges of life during a pandemic prevented this from happening. To our recipients and your guests, thank you for your patience as we've had to adapt to our new reality, but we are so very happy that you can join us all this evening. Also with us are our RDoC board members, staff, and representatives from some of our provincial partners and key stakeholders. I want to thank you for your ongoing support of the RDoC Awards, and I want to express how much your presence here means to us. For 18 years now, the RDoC Awards have honored individuals who have contributed to improving various elements of the lives of resident doctors in Canada. Past recipients have included resident doctors, program directors, postgraduate medical education administrators, and organizations that support resident doctors. RDoC Award recipients gain both national and local recognitions for their efforts. Because of this, the RDoC Awards program is perhaps one of the most continually successful projects that we undertake. I'm now going to hand over the floor to Dr. Stuart, who will introduce the first award and presenters of the evening. Emily, over to you.
Thanks, Esther. Since 2002, the RDoC Puddester Award for Resident Wellness has been given to individuals who have really contributed to improving resident wellness in Canada. And this is an issue that's really grown in importance in ways I don't think anyone could have imagined at that time, and it's especially relevant right now. So this award is named for Dr. Derek Puddester, who we are fortunate to have with us tonight, I believe. Dr. Alana Fleet is a PGY4 in physical medicine and rehabilitation at the University of British Columbia. I know her well. She is the past president of Resident Doctors of British Columbia and a member of the RDoC Board of Directors. She'll be presenting the Wellness Award in the resident category. And we also have here today Dr. Joshua Aquin, who is a PGY2 in Public Health and Preventative Medicine at the University of Manitoba. And he is the president of the Professional Association of Residents and Interns of Manitoba, and is also a member of the RDoC Board of Directors. And he'll be presenting the Wellness Award in the staff category. So Dr. Fleet, please go ahead, followed by Dr. Aquin.
All right. Thank you, Emily. So I have the pleasure of being able to introduce the awardee, which is to Dr. Alyssa Lip. She is a PGY4 as a respirology fellow now at the University of Toronto and completed her core internal medicine in Calgary. Now, unfortunately, Alyssa had a family emergency earlier today and thus can't be here. However, I was able to speak to her earlier today. So I'm still going to give my little spiel, and she asked me to say a few things on her behalf. Fortunately, I know Alyssa very well. Not only is she a former medical school colleague of mine, we've worked together on a number of medical leadership activities in med school, as well as all throughout residency. And beside all of our professional relationships, she's one of my closest friends. So a couple of things that I just wanted to highlight about Alyssa is that she often starts these projects because she's truly passionate about, really it's about physician wellness, and has been able to continue that interest and engagement that started in medical school, has continued through residency, and I expect it to continue throughout her career. And it starts really from this kind of passion, and it often will start as an idea and a local project, but she's been able to bring two things to the national stage. One is the National Wellness Challenge. This is now something that's put on by CFMS and is across a number of schools. And that started as just her idea back when we were in med school. The second thing has been the positive work environment. She started on the committee for that through RDoC, and then went on to host the first summit. And that was a really innovative project. I was actually able to attend myself a couple of years ago on behalf of RDoC. And really both of these things just showcase her creativity and commitment to physician wellness and trying to kind of push the boundaries. So I still want to congratulate her on this award. I'll clap for her. We can all do that. She just really wanted to offer her thanks and say that she feels very grateful. Obviously grateful for receiving the award, but more so she's happy that this award exists and that there's recognition for the challenges amongst physicians, and really trying to sort of celebrate the successes and value sort of putting the spotlight on physician wellness and the importance of this. So I know she very much wishes she could be here, but I'll have to tell her that everyone clap for her. And that's that. It's very weird when you don't hear like the feedback, because it's just like me talking right now at an award ceremony. I'm gonna mute myself now.
Josh, go ahead.
All right, thank you everyone. So it is my sincere pleasure this evening to present the RDoC Podester Award for Resident Wellness in the staff category to a fellow Manitoban, Dr. Cheryl French. Dr. French is an emergency physician and current program director of the Emergency Medicine Residency Program at the University of Manitoba. After recognizing a critical need to support the wellness of resident physicians, Dr. French established a working group of residents to develop a resident wellness program. Through her leadership and advocacy, this wellness program evolved into a full day of protected time during which all residents in Manitoba would be able to partake in. Not only was this event highly successful and well received by residents, it set the stage for a permanent annual resident wellness event, which continues today. And having personally had the opportunity to partake in this event, I can further commend the attention to detail and effort that was made to make sure that this is something that would be able to benefit residents now and going into the future. Dr. French is respected and appreciated by her residents and her colleagues alike. Her compassion, empathy, and tireless efforts to support residents is widely recognized. So Dr. French, on behalf of all resident physicians, thank you for your unwavering support for resident wellness. Congratulations again on your well-earned achievement.
Thank you, Dr. Ackland, for those kind words. I'd really like to thank all the members of the Resident Doctors of Canada for this honor. I'm humbled to be receiving this award. It started with a conversation with one of my now former residents as sort of a offhand, hey, we should do something. And I was on mat leave with a 3-month-old, and I strolled into the Associate Dean's office with a baby in a stroller. And I think he just wanted to get me out of there because he sort of agreed. And then I must have been sleep deprived because I agreed to chair it. And here we are now into our 2nd year of this event, trying to figure out how to keep making this work. And really such events are not done by just one person. I have to acknowledge the hard work of Dr. Amanda Condon, who's our post-grad Associate Dean of Student Affairs and Wellness, as well as our program coordinator, Genevieve Dela Cruz last year, and our current coordinator this year, Alicia Baldwin. The retreat really would never have come to fruition without their incredible efforts. Physician wellness is a really complicated issue, and I'm going to apologize for the extra noise. I have a toddler in the corner that I'm trying to entertain with my iPhone. Part of wellness is balance, right? And the challenges of finding wellness in the midst of a residency, I think, is unique unto itself. Yesterday was actually our 2nd virtual resident wellness event this year. We've now renamed it the Rady Resident Forum. And the conversations with the residents were incredibly impactful. Not only do they all have to face the daily challenges of balancing their lives with their medical training, but the now added layer of working and training through a pandemic is taking things to a level that have truly never been experienced before. And it strikes me that the need for opportunities where we can all come together and share our experiences are more important than ever. Knowing that you're not alone or the only one facing such challenges is really a key part of finding wellness in whatever form that takes for you. I'd also just like to take a moment to acknowledge my parents, Michael and Donna, and my godmother, Diane, without whom I would never have the courage or strength to advocate for others. They taught me a lot that wellness comes in many forms and that caring for others is never wrong. I also want to acknowledge my husband, Chris, who's an amazing person wrangling a toddler in the corner. He's also an incredible physician, educator, and mentor to all of his residents, and he inspires me daily. His unwavering support means that I can say things to him like, so honey, I'm going to organize an event for 600 residents. And I'll know that even though he probably thinks I'm crazy, he is behind me every step of the way. And I can't forget my son, Caius, who brings so much wellness to my life, even if his presence at meetings seems to lead to me just accepting more work because I'm distracted. I'm inspired every day by the residents with whom I work, both in and out of the emergency department. You guys show up when things are hard and when the concept of wellness just seems more abstract than anything else. And you make a difference every day in the lives of your patients. So thank you and stay safe.
Congratulations, Dr. Lip and Dr. French. Huge accomplishments, and it's so inspiring to hear all of your stories. We will now present the next award. Since 2005, the RDoC Mikhael Award has been given to individuals who have contributed to improving undergraduate and postgraduate medical education in Canada. The award is named after Dr. Joseph Mikhael, who helped to focus RDoC's role in medical education, something that continues to hold a key place in our mandate. Dr. Franco Rizzuti is a PGY4 in Public Health and Preventative Medicine at the University of Calgary. He is president of the Professional Association of Resident Physicians of Alberta and a member of RDoC's Board of Directors. He'll present the Medical Education Award in the resident category. Dr. Justin Cottrell is a PGY4 in otolaryngology at the University of Toronto and a member of RDoC's Board of Directors. He'll present the Medical Education Award in the staff category. Dr. Rizzuti and Dr. Cottrell, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Esther. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce Dr. Conrad Tsang, both a colleague and a friend that I've known for many, many years. Conrad is now a PGY5 in Public Health and Preventive Medicine at the University of British Columbia. But in addition to that, he's also clinical faculty for family medicine. And, during all of his terrific work he's done in public health and preventive medicine, Conrad also found the time to complete both a master's in medical education as well as a master's in public health. And he continues to pay it forward both with medical students and with his fellow residents. He's an active teacher in the medical school curriculum at UBC. He stepped up last year as the program, the public health program, underwent a shuffle in the program director as chief to really keep the program going and also develop new curriculum standards and support all the residents in the program. And, as he's winding down this very exciting final year of residency, he will be starting up his fellowships in subspecialty public health in occupational medicine next year. So absolutely delighted to congratulate and present this award to Conrad, who really, I think, sets the bar high for all of us in medical education in everything he does. So congratulations, Conrad.
Thanks, Franco, for such a generous introduction. What a year it's been. You might be the only person who's described our 5 years winding down, but I'll take it. I was thinking a few months ago while prepping for those fellowship applications, I was reading through an old educational philosophy statement I'd written. And in it, I said that my vision was every single medical student would have some sort of minimum knowledge in public health before they got to the resident stage, because our field really intersects with every specialty. And now all of my first year med students can tell me what RDoC is, which is so strange. I'm gonna have to go back and rewrite that statement. But I think it really strikes me that I know this is true for everyone, but this is absolutely not how I thought my final year of public health residency would look, or life as a part-time family doctor would look either. I wanted to thank everyone at RDoC for bringing this community together tonight and hosting this. This award was really special for many reasons. It meant a lot to be nominated by people that I really, really respect. And that included teachers and included mentors, and really importantly, the stellar residents that I have been really proud to get to work with and to call my really close friends, a lot of them whom are in my program. This award, I think, really should be going to all of them. It also means a lot coming from RDoC, which is an organization that obviously I'm a member of, but more importantly, it's been one that has been a conduit for me to get to meet a whole bunch of excellent colleagues I have across the country who are broadly passionate about education. A lot of you are on this call tonight. And for all of that, I'm quite grateful. Amongst many things, I think a large component of my current teaching portfolio is in the foundational sciences of being a physician. So right now I teach in the evidence-based medicine and research and scholarly methods course, which is a wildly popular course for pre-clerkship med students, like let me tell you. And with that major challenge of making this clinically relevant for them at a stage where they haven't quite seen a lot of patients yet, there really comes the potential of having that magical spark when you happen to help them finally figure out something like, maybe not just any likelihood ratio, but the dreaded negative likelihood ratio, which one of my students promptly told me was the summit of pain that presumptively everyone had to go through to get through medical school. Because let's be honest, it makes zero intuitive sense. And I joke because, despite I think all of us having seen that in med school, that is also the most common question I'm getting from all my R5 friends who are texting me, prepping for their Royal College exams, not remembering what this is. But that magical spark is real. And I truly do think the conceptual understanding of this helps you be a better physician. So I'll close by saying that this event tonight does remind me that physicians are always educators and that we're always teaching our learners on how to be better physicians. And a lot of that is through our modeling. And I think in these challenging times, your previous awards really remind me as well that part of that modeling is continuing to be kind to others and being kind to yourself as well. I hope that you're taking care of yourselves. And if you have the capacity, that you're also taking care of someone else. So thanks very much to RDoC, all of the staff that I'm sure work behind the scenes for this. Beth for very thoughtfully putting on UK time zone on the agenda so I wouldn't get it wrong. And I also know from having worked with all of you staff as well that you work very diligently all the time to make sure that we're doing well with residents across the country. I hope everyone is staying safe. And thanks to everyone else on this call for coming out to support us tonight.
Congratulations, Dr. Tsang. We are having a little bit of technical difficulties for our next recipient, so we're going to change the order a bit. Dr. Stuart, if you can introduce the next category, and then we'll come back to introduce Dr. Murdoch.
Just to be clear, we're doing the Service to Resident Award?
Yes.
Okay, so great work. Congratulations, Dr. Tsang and Dr. Murdoch. So just Esther, I just want to be clear which award we're continuing to the RDoC Ross Service First Service.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So in 2009, or since 2009, our RDoC Award, Ross Award for Service to Residents has honored those who have contributed to the enrichment of resident life in Canada, specifically acknowledging the important role that non-physicians play in residency. And I think it's safe to say that our administrative staff are truly the backbones of our programs and departments. And so we have the Service to Residents Award here, which is really our unique way to recognize their impact. So this award is named after Lois Ross, who served for many years as executive director of CARE, back when it was called CARE, and PARO now. Our presenter here tonight is Dr. Mike McGillivray, who I believe has been able to join the room, and he is a PGY3 in dermatology at Dalhousie University. And he is also president of the Maritime Resident Doctors and a member of RDoC's board of directors. So Dr. McGillivray, the mic is yours.
Dr. Stuart, thanks very much for that kind introduction. It is my great pleasure to present this year's award recipient for the Ross Award for Service to Resident Doctors. It goes to Miss Christine Silversmith from Dalhousie, who after 30 years of working at Dalhousie has rode off into the sunset, and I'm surprised she's here tonight not sipping on a mojito outside, enjoying the cool climes of Nova Scotia. Otherwise, without COVID, I'm sure she'd be in a warmer climate, enjoying that same social beverage. Just a few words about Christine before she steps up to the podium. reading through her awards nomination package, it was quite striking the impact that she had for all residents who have traveled through the Maritimes over the last 22 years, where she served as director of the postgraduate medical education department at Dalhousie. And just prior to that had been the education manager for the Department of Medicine at Dalhousie University for 7 to 8 years prior to that. Christine, after this long and lengthy career, again, like I noted, had decided to retire. And let me tell you, Christine, the place has not been the same since. It's been in shambles. COVID has occurred, and we're struggling without you nearby with that steady hand. Christine, in addition to helping education as well as help be that anchor to the department, also developed a number of key initiatives for residents over her time, namely a system to help call tracking that was needed both by the hospital, PGME, and residents. She leaves a lasting legacy in the postgrad department from her leadership style and the way that she fostered the team environment there, which is still being taken into account today. Before I invite Christine finally to the virtual stage here, I will say that despite all the accolades that were mentioned with her application, most striking to me is the wellness initiatives that she promoted for residents over her 22 years in postgrad. There was a number of comments that were made by various people who wrote letters on her behalf. One of the comments and quotes from a couple of the residents who wrote were that they would not have been able to make it through residency without Christine's guidance. She was someone who was on the forefront of wellness before we had a resident affairs office at Dalhousie, and really went above and beyond her role as her position in the Department of PGME to help residents in this regard. So please let me present a very deserving recipient of the RDoC Award for Service to Resident Doctors, Miss Christine Silversmith.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And I thought it was going to be okay, but now I feel like I want to cry a little bit. That was very kind, and I really appreciate that kindness. And because I tend to babble, and Andrew Warren, who is still the associate dean, said, "Keep it to paper, Christine. You do much better when you have paper." So if you don't mind, I'm going to just read my notes. I can say without a moment's hesitation that this is one of the greatest honors I have ever received. What I can also say without hesitation is that working in the world of PG&E is a unique experience that I think sometimes defies any attempt to summarize in a short or concise way. So I won't. Other than to say, is not unlike having a dozen irons in the fire all at once, then taking those red hot irons and juggling them all at the same time and trying really hard not to drop one. For me, PG was and is a complicated, evolving, and often exciting administrative world. But that is only one side of the coin. The other side, in fact, really the whole coin, was working with the trainees. What a privilege to work with and for a group of individuals who make a decision to dedicate themselves to the service of others. Most trainees move through the system with the highs and the lows that come with any average day that crop up, and never really come and see the inside of a PG office. However, there were those who needed help, sometimes a little, sometimes much more. But then don't we all need a little help now and then? Those times when sitting down and just being there and listening, I mean really listening, and to look at all and any issues that were at hand, and to consider the options and the help that was available to them, are some of my most treasured memories. And I really mean that. There's some of those memories that I will carry with me always. It is then that I knew that what we did to be able to offer direction, relief, and sometimes advocate for someone who finds themselves in a position that they just didn't know where to turn. That is why I was there, and that's what I believe is why our office exists, to make training as seamless as possible, and for letting the trainees know that the door was always open and help was just available for the asking. I estimate that during my time at Dell PGME, I oversaw 5,000 more or less physicians through training and out into the world of healthcare. As an administrator, I certainly knew my boundaries did not extend to giving healthcare. But looking back, to know that I helped to send out thousands to provide care, not only in the Maritimes, but across Canada and really throughout the world. I mean, really, how cool is that? Of course, I was just one of many that helped in that process, but I am so proud to be part of that community. In my own way, I know I helped make this world just a little bit a better place to be. I'm so proud of all you guys and what you've taken on and what you will achieve. And receiving this award was really just the cherry on top of the cake. That's what I was going to say, but in fact, it really was the apple on top of the cake. And I really want to thank you. Thank you for considering me. And I miss you all, even the ones that weren't at Dell. Keep up the great work, because this is a world that just needs more people like you, for sure. Thanks.
Congratulations, Ms. Silversmith, and all the best in your retirement. I hope you are enjoying a mojito tonight. Our final award this evening is the Murray Stalker Award, named in memory of Dr. Murray Stalker, the CFPC's first president. The award recognizes and promotes the scholarly activities of family medicine residents. It is awarded to an outstanding family medicine resident who is recognized as a potential future leader in the discipline. This is the second year that RDoC has invited this year's recipient to our awards reception so that they can be recognized by their resident colleagues for their achievements. Our presenter is Dr. Stephanie Smith. She is a PGY2 in family medicine at the University of Calgary and RDoC's treasurer. Dr. Smith, take it away.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kim. So I have the honor tonight to talk about Dr. Shayne Reitmeier. Very interesting guy, lots of research if you want to see what he looks like. I saw some great videos online and you seem like a very charismatic person. I hope I get to meet you in person someday. You're being recognized for being the 2019 recipient of the CFPC Murray Stalker Award, as was previously mentioned. He was presented with this award in recognition of his exceptional contributions to advocate for the LGBTQ community and peers in medicine, and for his outstanding commitment to comprehensive rural family medicine. Dr. Reitmeyer completed medical school and his family medicine residency at the University of Manitoba. He spent the past 2 years working in rural family medicine, training as the chief resident in Portage la Prairie, Manitoba, where he now works as a rural family physician. Impressive that you were able to manage doing all the things you do and be chief resident. In 2015, Dr. Reitmeyer co-founded the RADI Faculty of Health Sciences Community Mentorship Program, which is a student-led initiative that gives undergraduate students the opportunity to be mentored by a trainee in one of the University of Manitoba health colleges. Keenly interested in social justice initiatives, Dr. Reitmeyer has become a prominent advocate and public speaker. He has received numerous awards and accolades in Manitoba, including the University of Manitoba Distinguished Alumni Award, as recognition for his ability to balance academics, also with his advocacy work that is aimed to create safe spaces for and dispel many myths against and investigate the unique needs and experiences of LGBTQ patients. He chose to specialize in family medicine since it not only immerses him in the wonders of medicine, but it also allows him to give back to the meaningfulness within his community. Dr. Reitmeyer, on behalf of the resident doctors of Canada, thank you so much for your leadership, for being an example that you've set to so many other family medicine residents like myself and physicians. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause, maybe snapping your fingers to give Dr. Reitmeyer his congratulations. Thank you.
Well, that was a wonderful introduction. Thank you very much. And yes, the LGBTQI community, yes, it's quite a mouthful. So I very much appreciate it. You can tell that I practiced saying that a few times though, hey? Yeah. So I really appreciate the introduction. And of course, it's an absolute honor to be here. First and foremost, of course, I need to congratulate all the other award recipients tonight. I mean, your contributions are clearly incredible, and I'm thrilled to be able to share this evening with you. I had the privilege of being recognized with this award in 2019. So I do have to thank the Foundation for Advancing Family Medicine, the CFPC, and of course now the Resident Doctors of Canada. It is an absolute honor to be receiving the Dr. Murray Stalker Award. I mean, this was an outstanding physician and a legacy that has continued with this day. So much like Dr. Kim, I also need to acknowledge that I am sitting in a room that is on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe and Dakota peoples. In addition to that, I do need to acknowledge that we are actually in the midst of Transgender Awareness Week, and tomorrow is actually the Transgender Day of Remembrance, which is something near and dear to my heart because of the area of medicine I practice in. So I have the privilege, I mean, even in this moment of chit-chatting here, to talk about identity. And this is something that I very much enjoy doing. I know that many of us as physicians here are being involved in healthcare. We have this privilege, we have this experience that allows us to have a confident sense of self. So if we ever doubt who we are, we have these medical associations, we have these governing bodies, and I guarantee you that those of you who are in medicine already know that at a minimum, you're a collaborator, you're a scholar, you have all these things that make up the tree of medicine that we've been having ingrained in us over a number of years that make us who we are. Even in COVID, when you have all the stresses that are against you, you still, even if you lost your sense of self, we still have an incredible profession, one where we're so privileged to fall back onto. But one of the things in medicine that we have to remember is that this isn't the case for all of our patients. And we have a variety of patient populations that we see that they're going to have these type of symptoms. The pandemic is going to further exacerbate this inner battle that they're having as an already vulnerable population. As I proudly state today, a member of the LGBTQI community, and I say over and over again that I face significant difficulties with my mental health, face diagnosis of anxiety. I've had years and years of counseling and seeing a psychologist and reaching out for help that really didn't culminate into this sense of self until I was in medical school. Without my privilege and my ability to seek out help, I wouldn't have the coping mechanisms and I wouldn't have the skill set to lead myself to where I am today. And this is one of the reasons that I'm so passionate about addressing the care needs of our sexual and gender minorities and otherwise vulnerable populations. And tonight, I hope that each of us can take away the message, and I hope that we can work towards a reality where we can facilitate safe and inclusive environments no matter how a person identifies. I'm very confident that each of us can foster this, and we can foster the development of a sense of self in our patients. When I was a patient, I had no idea who I was. I very literally took the diagnosis of anxiety as relating to the person that I was. There was no other person other than that diagnosis I had. It was with time that I had the ability to be challenged. I had the ability to reflect and develop. And then I had a chance to reinforce the person that was behind a diagnosis. So again, when I had this privilege to even give a speech, which if those of you who know me personally, you know that I absolutely love to talk. So I've just been waiting to unmute myself this whole time. So good luck now. But anyways, I like to quote the words of Dr. Murray Sinclair, who was very wise. And during the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, he targeted questions that youth should ask themselves, and that he acknowledged that everybody should be able to answer them. So the questions are, where do I come from? Where am I going? Why am I here? And who am I? So as I accept this award, I do want to, or this recognition, I want to offer you some simple reflections. When you ask yourself, where do I come from? Remember that it's okay to have struggled. When you ask yourself, where am I going? Remember that it's okay to chase your dreams. When you wonder, why am I here? It's okay to know that you're here today because you've asked for help. And finally, to each person who needs to hear this, whether it's you as a colleague, your patient, your friend, when you ask yourself, who are you? Who am I? I want you to hear the simple message that I took so long to hear, which was that it's okay to be who you are. Once again, this is an incredible honor. I appreciate the recognition, and I hope that you all have an absolutely lovely evening, because I know I am. Take care.
Congratulations, Dr. Reitmeyer. I would now take this opportunity for Dr. Cottrell to introduce our Medical Education Award in the staff category recipient. So over to you, Dr. Cottrell.
Thank you, Esther. It's a pleasure to be able to present the RDoC Mikhael Medical Education Award to Dr. Stuart Murdoch. As I was reading the submissions that accompany Dr. Murdoch's nomination, I was really struck just by the impact his work has had on its community's health services and beyond, not only at present, but then also longitudinally as his trainees move into practice. Dr. Murdoch is Program Director for the Family Medicine Postgraduate Program at the University of Toronto, with immense contributions and innovations in medical education. As a family physician in Barrie, Ontario, Dr. Murdoch has grown community-based medical education since 2009, where as Chief of Medicine, he integrated the Royal Victoria Regional Health Centre into the core family medicine program. His efforts have not only enriched the lives and training of those that take part in the program, but they have also led to improved recruitment of family physicians and specialists to the area, which was traditionally underserved. I learned that he's an avid hockey player, where he motivates highly functional and winning teams. That bringing this motivation to medicine, he was credited with a major cultural change in the U of T family medicine program. Under his leadership, where he removed previous top-down approaches and began empowering and motivating local leaders to take ownership of their education sites. He now oversees programming for over 400 residents per year at U of T at 14 hospital sites, 4 rural sites, and 40 teaching practices in small communities across the province. In his role, he has spearheaded the launch of an innovative integrated 3-year family medicine residency program, allowing deeper engagement and expertise in important subject areas such as leadership, palliative care, and elder care, which occurs alongside the core medicine rotations. This is the first curriculum education of its kind and poised to influence family medicine training for years to come. Both his trainees and his colleagues speak highly of his innovation and leadership contributions. One nominee mentioned, "Good mentors guide, but great mentors also inspire." We believe that Stu inspires his team to do better. So Dr. Murdoch, even though I'm not able to meet you in person tonight, your nomination also inspires me. And I do want to sincerely thank you for setting such a great example and supporting residents in their training journey so they can be the best physicians, caring for their patients, their community, and themselves. Congratulations on receiving the RDoC Mikhael Medical Education Award.
Congratulations, Dr. Murdoch. Dr. Stewart, I will hand it over to you for last comments.
All right. So thank you, Dr. Reitmeyer and Dr. Murdoch, and best wishes in your practice. It was truly so inspiring to hear about all of these selfless individuals who we have the honor of presenting with awards tonight. And all of you have demonstrated such compassion and selfless dedication throughout your careers. And I know you all set an example for all of us when it comes to leading with heart and leading with kindness. So this concludes the formal part of this evening's festivities. And before we move into the social time, I just want to take a minute to extend some thanks to people who made tonight happen. So thank you to all of our board members who agreed to be presenters this evening. We know how busy all of you are, so it's very much appreciated. And thank you also to last year's awards committee, Dr. Michael Argett, Dr. Sayara Schwetz, Dr. Derek Chan, Dr. Miriam Latrue, and Dr. Andrew Dawson. It takes really a lot of skill to choose the recipients for the RDoC Awards, and they did an excellent job. A quick note that our next call for nominations opens in about 3 weeks' time, so please feel free to nominate your very deserving colleagues. This is a really fun part of what RDoC gets to do. Finally, thank you to the staff, particularly Beth Sneed and Vincent Tremblay. It's due to their very hard work that this evening has been made possible, and I think it's safe to say it's been a big success. So just a quick explanation about what is going to happen briefly next. We are going to go out into these breakout rooms of about 6 people as a way to just say hello and interact with each other. After about 10 minutes, the staff will change things up so you're with a different group of people. And at the end of the second breakout session, we'll come back here very briefly to say goodnight. If you do have to duck out now because it's getting late where you are, thank you so much for coming and this evening, and please take care. If everyone's ready, we will go ahead and be entering into some surprise breakout rooms.
Thank you, Dr. Stewart. I just wanted to mention that Dr. Murdoch was unable to connect with us via Zoom today due to some technical difficulties. So we will be providing him a recording of our ceremony tonight. So I just wanted to mention that. All right, well, we will go into the breakout rooms.